in season 18. We are at the Temple of Speed for round 7, which is the Monza Grand Prix, the Italian Grand Prix in Monza. Looking forward to this one, Liam?
Yeah, definitely. Well, basing off the prospect to your race, it's a very, very good track for racing. You're expecting a lot of overtakes tonight. The main action zones, I believe, will be turn 1 and as well turn 4 as well. Maybe if you get a good enough run out of turn 4 and 5, you can maybe make a move through the Lesmos, as well as going down the back straight under the old Monza curving. You can maybe get a move done into Ascari and Parabolica. So basically you can overtake anywhere around the track. So that's why everyone loves Monza so much, as well as it being the home race for 3 of our constructors this evening, the home race for Ferrari, Alfa and Tauri.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one with a 2-stop strategy and potentially some rain as well, which we don't know at the moment. Do you think we might see what happened the last time we were in Monza, that we might have that Gasly moment where someone that may not be looking at a podium that might get a podium or a race win, kind of anyone that you would put in that hat?
It really all depends on if there's any safety cars or VSCs. That is really going to throw a spanner in the works, especially if there's certain guys at the start who might go for the reverse strategy and start on the medium tyres. So that could throw a spanner in the works and cause a few strategy mix-ups for a couple of guys, but I'm expecting a pretty comfortable either soft, medium, soft, or soft, medium, or medium, soft, softs, depending on your strategy of choice. So it's not exactly a high tyre wear circuit, Monza, so the drivers can really push it to the limit around here tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the quick track circuits that everybody loves, especially in the dry. They're all begging for no rain, the drivers tonight. I don't think we will see any rain, but it is possible. It's not off the cards.
Well, we've had we have had a few wet Monaco races in the past. In real life, I believe we had. It was 2017 was in the wet.
Yeah.
We had one of the Williams cars in the front row. I believe it was Lance Stroll, maybe.
Yeah.
In the front row.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of them interesting races. Obviously, we had a fantastic race last week in Catalonia with the wet weather. I think going from last week in round 6, where we saw Danestar, absolutely fantastic quali race, I think he would prefer a wet race, a wet quali any time of the day. So I think for this one it might favour some of the other drivers that have that raw pace, have that lap 1 pace, that can get them tyres in the optimal temperature area. I think the one for me to look out for tonight is Van Hanen. He's gonna have to really put his head down and just push, I think, Danestar to that next level of, well, I'm up here, how far can you push? And how, it's going to be, I think, one of them great battles.
That he still has a very comfortable championship lead, and after this we've only got 3 rounds to go, so the pressure is really on Danestar if he wants to compete for the championship come the end of the season, the final race. So Vahanen's really just got to keep on scoring the points consistently, whereas Danestar's got to keep on winning. Basically, he has to be dominant for the rest of the season if he's going to be in with a shout for the championship.
Yeah, there's obviously a few other names that you could say dark horses that can snatch a podium or get a win out of nowhere. As we saw in Austria, the only Tomar and Rimpi were at the back of the grid, and just by pure safety car and VSCs, I think, and the strategy, they just got up that grid so quickly. Obviously, we've got Scorpion Han, Chris in here, you know, obviously you've got Van Halen, Danestar. Will we see the Mercedes obviously tow? Hopefully Nick or Danestar don't have a tyre issue. We don't want that.
Yeah.
We don't need anyone trying to beat Bottas's world record.
I believe it was 43 hours and 30 minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Took them almost 2 days, well, 2 days basically to get the wheel off of that car. And not to mention the famous cut to Lance Stroll hopping across the curb at Monaco while Sebastian Vettel and Pierre Gasly are going side by side up the hill.
Yeah, well, at least our race director and camera angles will be much better than Formula 1 management. Hopefully, we'll try and get as much of the action.
Management who runs the Monaco Grand Prix. Monaco have their own race director, so that is why it was not the usual from the F1. They have their own race director for each Monaco Grand Prix. I'm not sure why, but they like to keep it in-house. Yeah.
Also, wasn't a good race last week for the Red Bull racing, which is obviously one new driver, which is Sam WD, the Dutch driver, and well, is that a new driver? No, it's not a new driver. He's just changed his PSN. Late Skeet, sorry about that. I struck me twice this week. I think coming out of Spain, they didn't have the best of races, but I think Monza being the speed track, I think I think it suits the teams that have the pace in the car. Obviously, I know the cars are equal, but I just feel it favours the Mercedes, the Red Bull.
Even though the cars are equal, they have the same straight line speed, of course, but it's all really dependent on setup as well. But the cars also handle a little bit differently from each other, though.
Yeah, I think
I think the Mercedes might be a little bit more loose on the rear end compared to like the Red Bulls or the Ferraris, but these guys I have to say this week, Monza, Italy, surely the Ferrari guys have got to be going for at least one guy on the car on the podium, if not a race win. It's their home race. You've got to expect the Ferrari to be wanting that race win at home like Charles Leclerc did in 2019. Or even another Italian car win like Pierre Gasly in his AlphaTauri. I think the Tifosi will be happy as long as there is an Italian car on the top step of the podium come the end of the race.
Obviously, and also we don't want a Monaco Leclerc issue where he puts it, well, I wouldn't say put it in the wall, he tapped the wall and we get the end of qualifying. Obviously that won't happen because it's obviously in the virtual world, but it can hamper anyone that's behind if that happens, because you're going to have to slow down because of, well, not necessarily because obviously you don't really have to abide by the yellow flags in qualifying, as we are now going to go into qualifying. We're just obviously waiting for the lobby. We've only got 15 tonight, so
just a quick fun fact to mention, we won't have a Leclerc situation in qualifying because, funnily enough, F1 2020 doesn't have red flags.
Well, there you go then. Unfortunately, you won't get... So we are going to head into an 18-minute short qualifying where the drivers can set the fastest lap possible on any of the compound tyres. We will wait to see if it is a dry qualifying or a wet qualifying. What would you prefer? Would you want a wet qualifying or would you want the dry?
Honestly, I prefer dry qualifying. It just makes things so much easier for the drivers.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the most technical or difficult of tracks, but Ascari certainly can catch you out if you're not paying attention. It is still a pretty tricky corner, as well as the curbs through turns 1 and 2, as well as turn 4 and 5. Those curbs are pretty lethal if you hit them in the wrong way.
Yeah, obviously Ascari, you know, is the ultimate place where... Oh, we've got rain. It's going to be a wet qualifying session, so this is going to be pretty interesting. I think I might have jinxed that one. So, 18 minutes of qualifying session under the wet conditions. Would you go out on the wets, or would you risk and try an intermediate? Because obviously it's not out.
Full wets or is it intermediates?
Well, they've gone on the inters.
Well, then
so
it's intermediate conditions with quali.
Yeah. Well, I thought someone might just try the wets, as one of the Red Bulls is already out of the pits. That is Sam WD, the Dutch driver, joined and raced last week. He didn't have a good race.
Points in the end, I believe.
Yeah, but I think he'll want to get that banker lap in. So I know a few drivers haven't really practiced this week. They were all saying that Van Halen's going to do a sub 1 minute in the rain. So we'll ride on board, obviously, with Sam as he takes us on an outlap of the Monza circuit in Italy. He's on the intermediate tyres, so it's not going to be the usual 118, 119 times that you would get in the dry with the C2 to C4 tyre, or even the C3. So the times are going to be, I suspect we'll see them more, obviously being this the precision tier. I suspect, I don't know really, I've never really done a inter qualifying session around Monza.
Well, I believe the intermediate tyres are usually around 4 or 5 seconds lower, so
yeah.
I expect these guys to be maybe the 1 minute 20s in the 1 minute 20 range, so maybe a 1:23 to a 1 minute something. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, going back to what you were saying about the Red Bull boys, they'll be wanting a big result this week, considering they were both really just scraping into the points last week. So
yeah, well,
if they don't get a good result here in Monza, then I don't think Christian Horner or Helmut Marko will be a very happy men. They certainly weren't happy after last week's performance, but another team that will be hoping to be on that top step of the podium is Ferrari, of course. The home brands here at Monza cheering on the team in Scarlet Reds for their home GP, so they'll be hoping to deliver for the Tifosi this evening. So as Chris has started his lap, Scorpion just about to start his now, so keep an eye out on the 2 Ferrari cars as they circulate around, as I believe Sam is currently going down the back straight, about to go under the old Monza banking into Ascari.
Yeah. Sorry to obviously interrupt you there. It is going to be a dry race, so they will get the free option. So
with that free option, I can see a lot of people starting on the mediums, so just to get the slower tyre out of the way so they'd be going faster at the end of the race before. Sam comes through Parabolica now, which was modified a few years ago to include that gravel track we now see on the outside. Then it's a 1:28.8 for the Red Bull. The track was modified a few years ago to include, I believe it just used to be one big tarmac runoff area or just a bit of grass, so not really enough to slow the cars down going into the barrier. So as Danestar has gone over a second, just about a second quicker than the Red Bull, so
there's true pace for you.
He's had a bit of a troll from his teammate there, so the Mercedes playing the team game here in Monza.
Yeah. Also, Key, first banker lap in with a 1:28.2, and has put himself P2. Not had a great couple of weeks not really finished in the points as such. He's a quick driver because that's why he's in this tier. I think his kind of situation is the strategy. He sometimes leaves the strategy, like he'll come in a few laps later than everybody else and he'll just drop. As we saw in Belgium, he left it till like the last lap to pit and it cost him points that, you know, McLaren potentially could have taken, you know, because that race Riley wasn't here. So obviously both are.
This week, of course, I'm just looking to see who's currently on a flying lap. There's just yellow flags and sector 2. I believe it's just someone moving out of the way. It's just Rimpey moving out of the way, but Chris is on another flying lap, it looks like, and he's coming up towards Parabolica now, so you want to brake, get the car onto the apex as soon as possible, so you've got to use as much on the exit to maximise your exit really. It's across the line, it's a 1 minute 28.0, so it's only 10 off Danestar here, and without the tool from his teammate as well, so battle for pole is still on, and I believe Chris is still in contention for the championship as well. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah,
I think he is.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good battle here in Monza. Also, all tiers in one hub are used with tasks which Liam and myself have access to tonight, so if you do want to have any information about any driver, you can use I think it's a comment thing in the chat. I think it's exclamation mark and then like fastest lap. So TAS is used to get, well, with all the drivers in all the tiers. It's basically an on-board dashboard, so we can see how many warnings they have, a little bit more in depth. So Liam will be giving us some information throughout the race from TAS. So
I believe you will also be helping out with that as well. You also have access, of course.
Yeah, both commentators on every tier has access provided, which is so much appreciated from Tas Theobald himself. Fantastic piece of equipment that he has provided to the league as well. It really, I think, gives that extra data that the drivers, you know, can take into any race for the next week or whatever, and they can. It helps them practice a lot more. You know, I've definitely certainly learned it over the 3 seasons that I've been in One Hub, and everything, and obviously yourself as well. So yeah, I think it's definitely that something that the game is missing. As Chris went a little bit wide in one of the corners and nearly lost it, but he's kept it under control. He's now going to go under the bridge. Obviously no DRS activated, so he's not going to get that extra speed. He's using ERS, so he's obviously trying to get to the pits he's trying to get to the pits as soon as possible. So
well, while we have a bit of downtime, I'm going to go back to the championship fight, and Danestar is currently on 56 points with Verheyen on 79. The closest driver to him is crucially Chris in the Ferrari. He is only 11 points behind, so
yeah,
good results from Chris, and he's back in the championship hunt really. Seems to be the one in the main contention. As for your constructors, Ferrari seem to almost have this wrapped up at the moment. They're on 144 points with Haas behind on only 79, so
yeah, sorry to interrupt you there. Rimpey has just set the provisional fastest lap with a 1:27.3, 0.2 quicker than Danestar. So yeah, proving that he is one of the fast people on the intermediate tyres at the moment. Still 8 minutes left, but at the moment his banker lap is setting him as the provisional pole sitter at the moment.
That's just a few notifications I've got to jump on my laptop there.
So also, ERT are sponsoring the Going Gets Tough award. This is for any driver outside the top 3, so they will win a at the end of the season their names will go into a vote and one name will come out and someone will win it from that, and they will win a Next Level Racing cockpit. So they have to answer all the media day questions, attend every race, and as long as they're outside the top 3 they'll be put in there and they will be in the possibility of winning a nice piece of equipment from Next Level.
People.
Yeah. So, and also we are sponsored by Liam RBS, who provides all the trophies to OneHub. You can follow him on Twitch at twitch/TV, I think it is, and then Liam RBS. So you can catch all his streams over on there on Twitch. He is a former OneHub driver himself, and we do appreciate him with the trophies and obviously Next Level Racing and ERT providing and sponsoring the Goins Gets Tough award as well.
Yes, so a big thank you to all of our sponsors really for helping us put on such an amazing show with so much detailed info on the drivers as well. So we really couldn't do this without them. So a massive thank you to them as we're coming into the last 6 minutes of qualifying now. So Rimpey currently on provisional pole as it stands with Downstar in P2 and Behanen in P3, which is crucial for his championship at the moment for Behanen. As long as he finishes ahead of Chris and keeps extending that gap, we could possibly see him take the championship either probably round 9, I believe, that the earliest he can take the championship, of course, unless Chris DNS at some.
I'm just keeping an eye on the 2 Red Bulls. They are doing fantastic qualifying at the moment. P7 and P8, not that far gap between them, 2 tenths. One of them is out at the moment. He's just coming through a Scari, which is IRS_Latesky. He's now going to come into the final corner.
Yellow flags on the start finish straight. I think it's.
He's got his teammate in front. Yeah, his teammate's just crossed the line but didn't improve. He's gone on fresh inters, so he knows the race is going to be dry. He hasn't improved, I don't think, because he's still in the 128.4s. Him and his other Red Bull teammate has been split by Kian in the Williams. He's been a kind of interesting one coming back into OneHub. Been in the points, kind of been around the top 7 since Belgium. He hasn't kind of got it all hooked up at the moment to get that podium or race win. I still think he's that underdog that maybe tonight can surprise us all with a fantastic pit stop strategy and maybe end up on the podium. Obviously penalties can play a factor, as we saw in the prospect tier, one driver getting 11 seconds of penalties and even one driver getting it a 3-second time penalty even within half a lap of the race. So penalties do punish at the Monza track in Italy, as Latesky is apparently setting purple lap time, purple sectors, so this might bump him up. We'll just stay on board with him.
How about the drift when he's coming into the pits?
Oh right. I thought he was going to complete the lap, but obviously he isn't.
Just the game playing tricks on you again, probably.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Oh, Dainstar's in.
Final corner.
Yeah, I'm.
He's going to complete his lap. It's P3 at the moment.
Yeah.
127.6, so probably has enough fuel on board for another flying lap. So keep an eye out on him. His teammate is further down the start-finish straight, so both Ferraris in tandem at the moment, crossing the line. One by one they go. The next car across the line is an AlphaTauri of White Fountain, who I believe is either starting his lap or has just finished his lap. But after that, the next car across the line will be Rimpey, who I believe is not up on his time, I'm not too sure. As Chris is retired.
Yeah,
What's happened to Chris? What's happened to him?
Well, I'm on board with Van Hanen. Yeah.
Bindit! Look on his board with his teammates. Bindit coming out of the first Lesmo, so a big crash there for the Ferrari team, so
yeah. I'm just gonna.
Good.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. I'm just gonna ride on board with Van Hanen because he's now on his flying lap. He's gonna get the tow from the Red Bull. He's gonna have a little bit of traffic in front of him. Oh, he's got massive traffic in front of him because he's got to clear 4 cars. So this is not going to be easy in the wet. Let's ride on board with him.
A Monza 2019-2020 situation. A lot of cars in one short space of time trying to get round with the best.
Yeah.
Which is very crucial around here, the slipstream.
Oh, as Van Hanen got... Yeah. You beat me to it.
Still tidy.
Can he beat Rimpey? Or even get past Dainstar? Oh, Dainstar showing yellow flags. Is that Dainstar or Nick? Yeah, I was
slowing down, I believe.
Yeah, because Dainstar is behind. Oh, Van Hanen has invalidated, coming into Ascari.
Nick has gone, so won't be any slipstream for Dainstar.
Yeah, Van Hanen's just slowed down because I think he knows that he's. Oh, Van Hanen is now trying to drift the Haas car. I don't think that's what you're supposed to do with a car, Van Hanen. As he's now going to go on a flying lap, and he will take us around the Temple of Speed, which is Monza in Italy, as he comes now down to the turn 1 and turn 2. Obviously, he would be braking at the 100-meter board. But in the wet, you might want to brake a little bit before, so you're not charging completely like Sebastian Vettel did with his brake failure. As he now comes into the end of Sector 1, let's see if he's up by 0.005. So that's not really going to think. He's a little bit understeer coming out of turn 2 and... well, turn 3 and 4, as he's now going to come through the Lesmos up to where the DRS would normally be activated, but it's not. He's really understeering this car. Is he doing... well, I suspect he's got a dry setup on. He's really struggling as he's now going to come up to Ascari. Now, this could make or break. No, he's not invalidated, but he's was very cautious. Oh, Dainstar has DNF'd on the track, right in the middle, and Van Hanen has had to avoid it as he now comes into the last corner. You really want to push the car out wide to reduce the distance travelled. Oh, as Van Hanen has lost it. He clipped the curb, and the car just... and he... yeah. He's out of qualifying, but takes P4.
Rimpey is on for pole. Riley's invalidated. One of the Red Bulls has spun as well in the middle sector. It's Teskey as Sam's just driven into a wall on purpose, which I do believe will be a penalty because you're not allowed to do that. Deliberately DNF. But yeah, that is an eventful qualifying. 3 of the top 5 have DNF'd here in the last few laps. So your grid order for the race will be Rimpey on pole, who's on pole in his Alfa Romeo, Dainstar in P2, followed by Chris in P3, then Verheyen, Key, Riley, Scorpion, White Fountain, Roteski, Kian, Sam, Toma, Salty Bear, Vitinho, and Nick rounds out the grid.
Yeah, so just before we do get into the race, little bit of information from early this evening. We've already had one AlphaTauri win his first one hub race, which was TJW. Will lightning strike twice and give us another fantastic first race winner for someone, or as you said, one of the Italian teams, as qualifying now has finished in one hub racing for round 7 in Monza, with Rimpey taking pole position with Dainstar not even 1/10 behind him in P2. Then we have Chris in the Ferrari rounding off in 3rd place. Then we have Verheyen in 4th, Key SF1 in 5th, Riley 6th, Scorpion in 7th, White Fountain in 8th, Let's Ski in 9th, and rounding off your top 10 is Kian. And then we have in 11th Sam, 12th it is the only Toma, and the game has already beaten me to it. So we are going to be in for a dry race, 2 stop mandatory stop. So you'll go, well obviously they'll get a free choice of tyre. Would you go medium, soft, or would you go still soft, medium, soft?
I'd go medium, soft, because you're getting your medium tyre stint out of the way as quickly as possible, really.
Yeah.
So you're on the harder tyre to start off with, rubbering in the track a bit as you go round on your first stint, and then when you get into your middle and final stint, you're on the softest compound available, and the track's already been rubbered in over the amount of running you've done over the course of the race weekend, of course, and in the race. So got plenty of grip there on fresh tyres.
Yeah. Also, in the earlier tier of the prospect tier, we did see some people who had incidents earlier on in the race go for the hard compound tyre, obviously being the slower tyre. I wouldn't see it as an option for these kind of drivers unless they have got mad pace like a Dainston or someone like that. Let's just see what tyres the drivers have gone for. So at the moment we've got a bit of a mixture, as Rimpey has completely cut turn 1. So Rimpey will start on the softs with Dainstar, Chris, Scorpion, White Fountain, Kian, Sam, only Toma, and Nick, all on the medium compound tyres. Then we have Verheyen, Key, Riley, Rimpey, Late Ski, a Salty Bear, and Vitinho, all on the soft compound tyre. So quite a mixture of tyre, obviously, due to a wet qualifying session. Each driver would have had a free choice of tyres no matter where they finish in the qualifying session. So going into turn 1, we all know, not just in league racing, in the real Monza, it can be quite chaotic. Do you think we might see a VSC or a safety car lap 1, or do you think it'll be all plain sailing?
It's not out of question, but I'd expect these guys to keep it nice and clean for turn 1. Be a bit cautious, like a few guys in prospect before, and
yeah,
of course over the other tiers.
Yeah.
So it's not out of question. It just depends on how aggressive everyone is in turn 1 and quickly talking about the tyres. Considering, well, Rimpey is on the softs off of pole because I believe he's probably realised who's behind him, the 3 guys behind him, and he's realised, okay, I'm going to need the fastest compound available here to get a better start than these medium runners and pull a little bit of a gap on them.
Wait, he's already at the line. He's ready to go. His tyres are going to get a little bit cold because he's going to have to wait for the whole grid to line up in the thing. So that wasn't the best strategy. Obviously, he did slide a little bit of understeer coming out of the last corner. So as the drivers are now lining up in their grid positions, as we await the famous 5 red lights that we know from F1, we'll just wait for the drivers. As now we wait for the red lights, are we going to get a good camera angle? 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 red lights, and we'll wait for the drivers, and it's lights out and away we go in one hub, round 7 for the Italian Grand Prix, as they all now go into turn 1. Rimpey has already got that gap, as we've got a battle behind between Van Halen and Dainstar and Chris. As they go into turn 1, Dainstar and Chris make a little bit of contact. Chris has gone off the track and has potentially got a bit of damage. I don't know if he's got any wing damage. Oh, little bit of clash between Van Halen and Key.
Yeah, both of them have a bit of front wing damage. He has quite a bit of front wing damage there, whereas Van only has a slight tap of wing damage, but it is enough to put him off.
Yeah.
But it isn't race changing, unlike Key, who's lost probably most of his front wing in that contact, which he has there. So yeah, going back to what I was saying, it looks like Rimpey's decision has paid off. He's almost a second and a half ahead of Dainstar already. So using those soft tyres to his advantage to pull a gap on the medium runners, as Chris hunting down Dainstar for revenge, but he's also got the Haas car behind him of the Hanen, who's hunting down his Drivers' Championship, and his main title rival is ahead of him. So
yeah, sorry to interrupt you there. Kian, I don't know if he's had an incident with Key, but just as they were all coming through Ascari, I think Kian has not completely gone into the wall, but has just clipped. As he's not got no damage, but I think he had a bit of a moment. Yeah, but what a contact!
I just want to say that according to TAS and looking at his front wing, and D just confirmed it, that Nick has quite a bit of front wing damage.
Yeah, it's just I'm waiting for my leaderboard to come back to me.
Verhaenen's got back. Verhaenen's got back past Chris now.
Yeah.
So Ferrari not doing very well the whole race here. Even his teammate has DRS on him now. Chris does have DRS on Verhaenen ahead, but he isn't using it.
No, I think what Ferrari are doing is, just sit there. They know Van Halen and Rimpey are on. Oh, as Riley skids across Ascari, and he's DNF.
He's still in the race. He's just part of his front wing. Yeah.
Is he better?
Ferraris, Scorpions all over the back of Chris's gearbox here. So
safety car. There is Riley's retired on the track.
Double start from the Ferraris now.
Yeah.
Dainstar, Rimpey and Verhaenen all lose out there, but Ferrari are going for the double stop here, so that will hold up any Mercedes car that comes out of the pits, although Scorpion was in his box by the time Nick has pulled up, so this could really haunt the likes of Dainstar and Verhaenen. But I don't think Rimpey will be too upset with what's happened here, so he'll be able to get off of his set of soft tyres and onto a fresh set of mediums and carry them for a while.
Yeah.
Whereas Chris is stopped for a set soft, so he's got his mediums out of the race, so he's probably going to have to stretch these a bit and then maybe get another set of softs to the end. So the safety car will help him stretch these tyres as well, crucially. So
yeah, I think the safety car was gonna kind of help some driver. I don't know what happened to Riley. He did crash in the wall. He did kind of drift it round Ascari and then hit the wall. I don't know if he retired on the track or he's come in contact with another wall. Rimpey's in the pits. Rimpey and Dainstar have decided to make the pit stop, so this is going to be quite interesting. Van Halen's in as well.
Yeah, it was kind of obvious knowing that everyone else was pit, they weren't going to have to respond, so...
Yeah. Let's just
we'll
run
see.
on...
Will they filter back out ahead of them, I think? I think they're still going to filter out ahead of Chris.
Yeah.
So them trundling around at safety car pace has kept the gaps the same, really, so... Chris is going to be back where he was.
That's not going to help Ferrari.
No. But Rimpey gets onto the medium tyres now.
Yeah, as just a little update, while we are under the safety car, in the points tier, we had one of the ERT drivers has taken the provisional win in that tier, which is ERT Thomas. So fantastic race from him in Monza tonight for the points tier, which was on earlier this evening, which you can catch. I believe that was on Twitch tonight. That will be uploaded to YouTube later this evening, so don't panic. If you do like to keep all watching our streams on YouTube, don't worry, that will be uploaded either today or over the weekend by our friendly management team at OneHub. So we are under the safety car. Most of the drivers have pitted. Key's gone for the hard compound tyres. We saw this in Prospect here by TJ, who won the race provisionally tonight. Do you think it's a good idea under a safety car to go for the hards, because it's a two-stop mandatory? Lap 18, when they all pit again, his tyres are going to be worn. So
yeah, but he's still got to stop again, though.
Yeah.
Twice.
I don't know if he has.
If it's your first pit stop and you're going for hards,
no,
it's pointless. You're better off going for.
No, he's pitted twice. Key is the only
then.
driver.
He's going to the end. If he's going to the end, then yes, he's probably made the best call with the tyres. But if you're going to continue on with another pit stop to do, you're better going for mediums, because they'll probably do the same amount of distance, and she'll probably be going quicker as well. And you've got another set of softs that you could use, probably.
Yeah. So, White Fountain is the current race leader at the moment. Hasn't been really up there this season. Had a fantastic season last season in his tier with great battles. I think he's struggled kind of this season. Obviously he's got Vitinho as a teammate. Vitinho has been getting the results for AlphaTauri, so it's kind of been that season where he's kind of had to adjust to potentially new drivers on the track that he may have not battled before, or new rivalries that he's picked up, you know, in the paddock Discord, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know, so obviously we know he's a good driver.
Of rivalries, both Sam and Ralkio were called into the rivalries press conference due to them both being right at the back in the standings.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunately, neither drivers have answered their question. But
well, yeah.
Drivers press conference,
safety car is in. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Sorry.
The safety car is in this lap, so White Fountain, we will just wait. He's getting a little bit twitchy on that car. We won't get a Danestar Spain wet restart, as they all bunched up right at the back. White Fountain is really waiting. Is he going to go?
He's going to go right to the safety car line.
He's gonna really go. He's gone. Yeah, I think he's gone. Yeah, he's gone. But we've already got Rimpey is having to defend off a Danestar already going into turn one. Are they going to go 3 wide? No. White Fountain keeps it into turn one. It's Danestar and Rimpey are really going to go at it, coming in and out of turn two. Danestar has got to move, and he's already he's boxed in.
Right round the outside of both of them, someone's gone, Salty Bear's gone.
So, one of the Renault's gone. Is that going to cause a VSC?
I do not know, but...
No, it's not.
Out of it on White Fountain. after sweeping right around his outside through Curva Grande there, and through the Lesmos we go. It's through the second Lesmo now. White Fountain gets a good enough run. Will Rimpey bleed his ERS to get past? Here comes Dainstar again! Yellow flag sector 1, sector 2. It is just Scorpion and Salted Bear's wrecked Renault.
Yeah.
Dainstar is ahead of Rimpey now. He's all over the back of White Fountain, but Rimpey's got a good run through Ascari. But will he make a move? I don't think he will though. He's gonna bide his time and maybe try and make a move if these guys battle like I tried to do in the prospect here, go right through the middle of them if they clash, which kind of turned out unfortunate for me, but knowing these guys, I imagine they will be able to pull off such overtakes. As Dainstar's up his inside, White Fountain unable to fight on around his outside though. Dainstar takes the lead of the race now. As Rimpey is up the inside through Curva Grande, and he's surely going to have the position done the move done before turn 4 now. The Alfa Romeo ahead of the Alpha Tauri here. Now, will Dainstar use this to bolt off into the lead? He's almost got a second's gap already. He only got the move done on White Fountain down the start-finish straight, so Dainstar showing some almighty pace as Chris was the next one to line up White Fountain on the run down to Ascari. Ferrari versus Alpha Tauri. Who blinks first? Chris backs out of it, thinks better of making the move into Ascari. He's going to try and get a better run now, which he doesn't really. He's going to have to wait until the run off the Parabolica and down towards turn 1, but he's also got the hay in.
I was just about to say that.
So here we go. Through Parabolica, Chris closes up to about 2.5 times back. Overtake mode engaged. Dainstar sits the fastest lap now. Down towards turn 1 we go. Chris isn't closing fast enough on White Fountain. White Fountain will go defensive. So here we go. Chris brakes early to try and get a better run, just like Rimpey did. And he's right on the back of that Alpha Tauri again. Here he goes, he's going to go up the inside like the Alfa Romeo did. But he just doesn't have the speed to make the move, unlike that Alfa Romeo did. Maybe he's running a slightly higher downforce setup, but he has got the Alpha Tauri under constant pressure at the moment. The White Fountain gets a good enough run through the turn 4-5 chicane, now through the Lesmos. White Fountain a bit wide, allowing Chris to catch up here. Now through the second Lesmo we go, Chris brakes early for a good enough run. Fountain even, but he will have DRS. Both drivers have DRS as White Fountain is close enough to Rimpey ahead, but so that negates any slipstream or DRS effect for Chris. He's going to have to wait until the start-finish straight, and if White Fountain drops far enough back from Rimpey ahead, the gap is about 7 tenths between them two, as Chris is about a 10.5 behind, right on the gearbox of the Alpha Tauri. He's going to need an amazing run through here. And he gets, they're both evenly matched on the exit. Chris gets better exit speed now, using his ERS. Almost fully depleted, 5% left. White Fountain waiting and using his ERS and DRS as well to pull away down the straight. He's still hanging on to the back of the Alfa Romeo in front. He's dropped back from Dainstar to about 3 seconds now. As Chris fights back again, he's going to go round the outside for Curva Grande. Into turn 4 they go. Will White Fountain use his ERS now? Yes, he will. So White Fountain realising that that Ferrari has absolutely no ERS remaining and just using his slightly better straight line speed. He doesn't get the best run for the chicane. Here he goes. Into the Lesmo. He's giving Chris a squeeze there on the inside, but Chris is going to fight back. Now into the second Lesmo of the two. Backs it again. He's going to get a good enough run, but is the Alpha Tauri close enough? No, it's not to get DRS, but he's not using his overtake mode either, so he's going to wait for it and maybe make the move into Parabolica or down the start-finish straight. As out of Ascari we go. He's still sitting about 3.5 tenths back here, closing in slightly. What a battle this is. It's further back. We've got Thomas on the back of Sam in the Red Bull, but we're going to keep our attention on Chris, who's in a battle for the podium. If I goes a little wide, Chris using all of his ERS again. He's going to be almost out. He's going to be out of ERS halfway down the straight, but that won't matter. The DRS advantage is enough, and Wakefield slots in behind the Ferrari. Phew, what a battle that was.
I was just about to say, what a fantastic battle between two experienced drivers of White Fountain and Chris, taking the two cars on the virtual track in Monza to an absolute next level battle that was all caught on stream, so they can go and watch back at the end of the race and think, wow, we produced a great battle there for the fans in One Hub Racing. So Chris is obviously now going to try and close that gap up to Rimpy, who is in the AlphaTauri. So we've kind of got 3/4 of the Italian teams on the top three. Obviously Danestar obviously not having none of it and thinking outright that Mercedes are going to take another win. Potentially, there's still 17 laps to go. As Chris had a cheeky look down
as Thomas got up the
Rimpy.
inside of Sam into Parabolica there. What a move from Thomas. He wasn't even expecting that. Just riding on board with Sam as he was close behind Behanen. But Behanen now fighting with White Fountain now. He's got the move done into turn 1 with the overspeed. Next up is Thomas to make the move on that AlphaTauri possibly. That's the top 5, the top 5 or 7 or something are going crazy with overtakes at the moment. Thomas now lining up the AlphaTauri at White Fountain, going down towards turn 4. I don't think he will make the move, but he will force the AlphaTauri under the mistakes, or maybe just do a simple switchback move, but pardon me, White Fountain gets a good enough run through there and holds up the position. But now for the battle for P2, Chris all over the back of Rimpy, who's probably defending for his life. But if you look at the ERS difference between the two, Rimpy has about 60% of his ERS remaining, whereas Chris has almost none of it. But that doesn't matter, as he's up the inside into it. Chris is not taking any prisoners tonight. Yeah, Rimpy will have a chance to get the move done though. He's got a lot more ERS saved up than that Ferrari. Chris has got about 3%, 1% of his battery left. Now here comes Rimpy, going to have so much more speed and ERS to use. He's got about 45% left to use. So he's barely even using it. He doesn't really have to because the Ferrari has nothing left in terms of battery power to deploy down that straight. As looking further back, we've still got Sam, and now he's on the back of Nick now. So Nick up the field and is currently running P7, but back to the battle at hand between into the Lesmos. Who will blink first in this battle? Will Chris pull the trigger and go for an undercut maybe? Out the second Lesmo we go. On the run down towards Parabolica, Chris not really using his overtake mode. He's just going to use simple straight line speed advantage of that DRS. It's going to save up his ERS a bit now for that fight down the start finish straight. So I think he's learned that if he makes the move into Ascari, it just leaves the car behind with a better chance of getting the move done down the start finish straight really with the DRS. So he's being patient now. As through Parabolica we go. It's a decent run on the way in, but Rimpy has a better exit speed. He's got 15% of his battery to use now, Chris. He's deploying it. He's got about 5% left now, so he's not really going to be gaining fast enough to make a move into turn 1 unless he dives it down the inside, which he's going to do. He sent it! But Rimpy's seen him coming and gave him a little bit of space there, but fair play to these drivers. Chris having a little bit of a lunge there. But Rimpy sees him coming and leaves him a little bit of space, but these two still going side by side at the moment as through the turn 4-5 chicane we go. Rimpy gets a better exit through the second half of the chicane and through the Lesmos. He's stretched out his gap to about 5/10, so Chris not close enough if he wanted to make a move. He needs to be at about 3 or 4 tenths back now, slowly dropping off the back of that Alfa Romeo ahead of him. But here he goes, he's used a bit of his overtake mode and he is close enough, but he is not going to go for the move into Ascari. He thinks better of it again, so he's been playing the long game here, Chris, and trying to suss out a place to get the move done. As further back in the field you've got Sam, Key and Uteski in the other Red Bull separated by about 9 or 8 tenths. So those guys are in a bit of a battle. And Chris is still hunting down Rimpey. He's got no ERS left.
Yeah,
This
just to interrupt. There is a battle behind Chris and Rimpey, which is Van Halen and the Only Tom R. Obviously, the Only Tom R has got a 3-second time penalty. So obviously, if he did get past Van Halen, he would drop back. As Sam and Nick, or ERT Nick, have had a little bit of battle going into turn 1 and 2, and Sam gets the position from ERT Nick. Fantastic second race in one hub for Sam. He's got himself up to P6. He has got to still make a pit stop as he's got that Mercedes of ERT Nick going into turn 3 and 4 on the back of him, but he is pulling that gap now of roughly about 1 to 2 seconds already on the medium compound tyres. Obviously all the drivers behind Sam have made a pit stop. Key has already made 2 stops. He's on the hard compound tyre, so he won't need to pit again unless he had wing damage and he wanted to.
Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, look at Chris, he's dropped back. He's put 6 tenths back from Rimpey now, and that's allowed Vahanen onto the back of him.
Oh, set the 3 yellow flags. Sorry to interrupt you there, Key.
Key, yeah.
That's commentator's curse. Sorry, Key. He's got no wing damage, lucky. So, the second stop.
So he has realised he was dropping back from Rimpey there, so...
He's gone for the inters. Not the inters, the mediums.
Yeah, he was dropping back into Vahanen and Toma, so that's why Toma couldn't get past Vahanen, as he was getting the DRS off of Chris ahead of him, as we've got more yellow flags. It's Vitinho. Vitinho's round on the exit of Ascari.
Yeah, as I'm just... Oh, he's got Scorpion Hun right behind him, so this is a 3-point position. I don't know why that's still showing yellow flags. He's got no damage.
He's gone straight on, he's driven into a barrier.
Yeah, and that's been caught as well. Not a good day for one of the Alpha Tauris, unfortunately. That
sorry
may...
to interrupt you again, but look at Tom
VSC, sorry to interrupt you again. VSC has now been deployed, so that must be the result of Vitinho not having a good day at the office, shall we say. We'll keep it professional. And has retired on the track.
It's a very unfortunate result for someone who's been very consistent over the last few weeks. Well, the whole season really. He's been very consistent, sneaking into the points here and there for the AlphaTauri team, but everyone into the pits now. But yeah, Toma was on the back of Vahanen going through Ascari. He was about 10th and a half back. There's a battle of the pit crews between Racing Point and Tassier. What's it looking like? And we still remain in the same order. So, neither pit crew coming trumps. Calling trumps yet. As here comes Chris now. He's got past Toma, but he's behind Vahanen.
Wow. Key's got himself up to P5 as well,
but
as he's made the top.
For turn 2. He's pushed Vahanen wide a bit, and here comes Toma now. He's going to go right round the outside. He's got an amazing run. Oh, it's just a bit of wheel banging going through Curva Grande here. What a race this has turned out to be. It's got the inside line through turns 4 and 5. And now Vahanen on the back of Chris. Through the Lesmos we go. Chris not giving him any move, any room to make a move through the first Lesmos. He's been forced to back out there. But yeah, Dainstar already on the back of his team and the 2 Red Bulls. I imagine they'll be pulling out the pits sooner.
Yeah, so 11 laps. Here's the good question. Dainstar is... Oh, well, Dainstar's just answered that question for me. As Nick's gone in the pits, Dainstar has gained the position from his teammate. I was just about to say, was Nick going to let him through? He has... Key has got himself up to P4 on the hard compound tyres. They are 12 lap old, so
Nick
he's...
going around the outside of the test gate. Move done just before the turn 4-5 chicane there. So even though these guys have still got to pit, Dainstar not taking any chances and trying to put as many cars between him and P2 as possible.
But what a fantastic race so far from Red Bull. P1 and P3, I know, oh well, P2 and P3. I know they've both got pens and they both have got a pit still, but if they can keep going, maybe for another 1-2 laps, then it's gonna be, when do they pit? Because we saw in the prospect here, Jacko pit quite late and he didn't drop that far.
Ideally you want 7 or 8 laps on soft tires. Maybe 9 at most, that's where you'll get the best life out of them. This Dainstar's already a second clear, look at that. He's absolutely flying this afternoon, no one can touch him.
Yeah. But Sam did have DRS, so he's, at the moment, I don't, if you could just update me from TAS, how many seconds has Sam got? Because Key could potentially get a net P2 if he's more than 10 seconds.
Sam has 6 seconds of penalties, Thomas has 3, Luke Pittman has 3, Teskey has 3, Kian has 3, and Scorpion has 3.
So all Key needs to do is just drop it a little bit more, put his foot down, and he's realistically, because Sam's going to have to pit again, Key is going to get a podium because he won't have to pit again. He's made his 2 stops, but then he's got Rimpy right on the back of him.
He's got Thomas right behind him. Here comes Rimpy around the outside. He's going to get the move done before Ascari. Next up is Thomas, so he'll surely get the move done on the exit Parabolica now. You'll wait until round about the DRS detection point, or maybe you'll even wait till we get round Parabolica now. But yeah, Verhaenen's about 3 seconds back. He's got Chris all over his gearbox now. So Chris having another look at Verhaenen. Here we go down the start finish straight. He's not going to burn any more overtake. He's playing the long game, Chris. I think he's going to wait for those soft tyres on Verhaenen's car to wear out, I believe. But yeah, Key doing a phenomenal job up in P3, but looks like it's going to be P4 soon, as here comes Toma through Curva Grande into turn 4.
McLaren driver, obviously only one McLaren driver left in the running, as Riley DNF'd earlier on in the race. So 19 laps off, 27 done. A few drivers have penalties, some don't. Obviously some may have warnings that we don't, well, TAS will tell us if they do have any warnings. From P8 to P12 could get quite interesting, as Chris picks up a 3-second time penalty. So at the moment, oh, yellow flags, who has gone? That's the other AlphaTauri. So it's not going well for one of the Italian teams with AlphaTauri. I hope that doesn't cause a safety car or a VSC.
Still going.
Oh, that's good. At least he's still running. As we have a battle between Rimpy and the only Toma. The only Toma is right on the back of Rimpy.
Chris has got past Verhaenen for turn 1.
Wow. Chris is going to have to apply that pressure a little bit more.
Multiple battles on our hand here.
It's all going off in Italy tonight in Monza. Monza does always.
There's battles here. There's battles all throughout the field. We've been spoilt tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
They're making up for Spain being
a bit boring.
Wet race.
Yeah. As the only Tama is going to get DRS, he's not going to use any of the ERS that he's got. He's got about 20%, so it's not really worth it. But he's going to get that gap closed up into Ascari and hopefully into the last corner, ready to pounce on Rimpy down the straight finish. So he's about 4/10 off.
Yeah, same with Verhaenen on Chris at the moment. He's about 3.5 tenths back, so a few moves being done in, but Chris will have the DRS off a Key now. He's about 7 tenths behind him. but Chris has no ERS left. He's used all of his overtake mode, so he's not going to have much of a run on Key.
But really Van Halen, look, Van Halen's going to get a...
Thomas got past.
Oh, what a move by Chris. He dives it. Oh, Van Halen and Chris tried to dive. But either of them.
The outside for Curva Grande's cut across the Ferrari there. So, Key can breathe for now. Oh, he's made contact. He's touched the back of Key there going into the turn 4-5 chicane. A little bit of contact on a nudge on the rear end of the McLaren there, so Vane being a little bit overly ambitious at the moment. But that McLaren is really holding these guys up. I've got to commend, well, I've got to praise Key for doing such an amazing job and not giving up as well. Rimpe compared to the others, Rimpe saved so much battery compared to the other guys. He's almost got 70% of his battery to use still.
Key must have been.
Saving.
Yeah. Just going back to.
They've got so much battery to use. They've been experts at saving their battery today. It's been so crucial going down these long straights. Rimpe's got the run on Thomas. Going into turn 1 now. The Racing Point, is it going to fight back? No, it's not. Rimpe's got to move, but it has lightly tapped the back of that Alfa Romeo, but it's back up into P2 now as we've got Verheyen still trying to line up Key, with Chris behind him still trying to line him up.
Just to interrupt you there, Verheyen has got damage. He's got wing damage, so he's really going to be having an understeer car, so this could potentially cost him even a shot at a podium. Because he's got damage on the right side.
It must have come from when he shunted the back of Key through the 4-5 chicane. Even with front wing damage, he's so much faster than that McLaren.
Yeah, well, he is on the soft compound tyre. They both have got penalties, so it's going to be a fantastic way to end in roughly around about 5-6 laps. Key is doing some mega defending.
Here comes Chris. He's got a run, but the Haynes covered him off. But Key's doing a phenomenal job. Rimpe is pulling away from Thomas slowly and flat, which really just leaves Rimpe and Chris.
But Chris is not. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Chris has got no ERS. I think that's what. Yeah. Key's really.
None of these guys have any ERS left. They've all burnt out in the last few laps trying to get past each other.
If you were any one of these, well, if you were Key, just saying, you're on the hards, what would be your best? Would you just sit there and defend, even though you've got two very quick drivers behind? Key's in a spot that I think he doesn't really want to be. Because
it depends on what stage of the race you are. If you're in this stage of the race, the closing few laps of the tail end of the race, you really want to be just parking it and holding these guys up as much as you possibly can, as it could probably back these guys into Nick. Nick's only a second back, so it's backing them into Nick as well. So it's just adding more drivers for them to go to squabble with. So he's doing a really good defensive job as Thomas now back on the gearbox of Rimpe now down the start finish straight to go. Rimpe's got more ERS again still. He's gonna let him go though, Rimpe. Thomas gonna have a slightly worse line through turn 1 and 2, but Rimpe was holding in there. He should have tried to do a switchback, but down the straight we go. Nick's got past Chris. On the outside he goes, but Haynen's still struggling to get past Key, so Keith backed these guys all the way up into Nick. Nick's got past Chris, now into turn 4 and 5, through Curva Grande, into turns 4 and 5. Nick is in a position to benefit massively from this.
Yeah, I do apologise, we've had a little bit of a technical error. The stream is actually not showing what's on track. They're only getting our sound, so I do apologise. There has been a little bit of an internet technical error, so Yeah.
Nick is now trying to have this. He's gone up the inside of Verheyen into Ascari there. Because Verheyen's been blocked off by Key there. So nowhere to go, so Nick's been able to just sneak up his inside. So Nick's doing wonders at the moment with that Mercedes. He's almost at the P4. As Key doesn't get a great run through Parabolica either. Nick's about 2/10 back, so surely Nick's going to have the move done and dusted into turn 1. As Verheyen also looking at Key as well. Got no ERS left though, but here comes Verheyen up the inside of Key into turn 1. Both kept it pretty clean. Verheyen tried to do a switchback on him, but Key wasn't having anything. And Chris has passed as well. Chris has used that to his advantage and has got past Verheyen, and he's got a run on Key through Curva Grande now. Into the turn 4-5 chicane we go. Will Chris send it up the inside of that McLaren? He's still there on the inside. Key locks up and has gone wide. He's gone straight on. Key's gone straight on at the chicane. Sam's on the back of Verheyen as well now. As Key picked him a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. He's locked up and gone straight on. Not much he could do about this, but Nick has pulled a bit out. 2 seconds. And you've got Verheyen and Sam now battling away. What a race!
Yeah, unfortunately we can't show anyone because of the current technical issue. We do apologise. I don't think we're going to get it fixed within 1 lap. Unfortunately.
Through Parabolica we go there, sorry to interrupt, but
That's alright.
onto the last 2 laps we go. Dane Sturm with a 16-second lead over Toma. We've got a 1.2 second lead over Rumpe at the moment. So the top 3 is Dane Sturm, Toma and Rumpe. So as it stands, at least 1 Italian car will be on the podium here in Monza. But Verheyen has now got Chris to deal with again. So these guys have been inseparable all race. He's also got Sam behind him. So Key has caught back up at the moment. Through the turn 4-5 chicane they go. Sam gets a decent run but dips it into the gravel trap a little bit. So that's allowed Verheyen to stretch to about a 7/10 gap at the moment. With a second Lesmo now. Verheyen's too far away from Chris to hope about a move. Mainly going to be worrying about the Red Bull behind him as he's got no ERS left almost in that Haas car. He's not got a great run through Ascari now. Dropping further back, he's still staying around that 6/7/10 mark for Chris though. Chris also seems to be struggling a little bit on tyres, but through Parabolica we go. Dane Star has started his final lap of the race. Now Chris, Verheyen, Sam and Key have all started their final lap. Sam has got an amazing run on Verheyen now. Down the start finish straight we go. Which way will we go? He's going right onto the inside of Verheyen now. Up the inside of the Haas goes the Red Bull, just missing that Ferrari. As Verheyen squeezed him out there, so Verheyen getting the elbows out at the moment to keep a hold of the 6th position. He's dropped to about a second, 1.3 seconds behind Chris, who's not got DRS on the car in front, so he's going to really have to be watching himself down the back straight towards Ascari. He just holding around 7/10 behind Sam. Sam is just, he's about 2.5 times back from Verheyen, all over the gearbox of that Haas. Not the best exit through the second Lesmo.
Sorry to interrupt you there, as Dane Star now crosses the line and takes the provisional win in round 7 of the One Hub Racing Season 17 for the Precision tier, as the only Tamar now will take... No, he won't.
Sorry to interrupt, but Sam's got a run on Verheyen onto the final corner at Parabolica. He's up the inside through the final corner on the final lap. Sam takes P6 away from Verheyen now. And across the line goes the Red Bull in P6, but Verheyen jumps him on penalties. We'll
just wait for the others to finish.
Waiting on Whitefoot, Kian and Scorpion crossing the line. Neither of these guys giving up as they all want their 1 point, or 2 points. As Whitefoot rounds the final corner to take P10, so he rounds out your top 10 for this evening. Kian not far behind in P11, and then Scorpion coming down the back straight now. Through Parabolica he goes.
Kian has stopped on track. He's going to cross the line now, as Scorpion will finish. So there is the race done with a few technical difficulties, unfortunately, as Nick has taken the in-game driver of the day. So I'll let you prepare your driver of the day and question as we now take a look at the provisional race classification.
It's 2 in a row for Dainstar. So as we watch the podium celebrations at the moment, right, your classifications after the race are Dainstar takes the race win, a second in a row on P2 on the grid. Rimpey in second, who appears to got the better of only one of Toma on penalties. Nick in fourth after starting 15th on the grid. Chris in fifth in the Ferrari. Vahane in sixth in the Haas. Sam 7th in the Red Bull. Teske 8th in the other Red Bull. Key 9th in the McLaren. Whitefoot 10th in his AlphaTauri. Kian 11th in the Williams. Scorpion rounding out your finishers in 12th in his Ferrari, and your non-finishers today are Vitinho in the AlphaTauri, Salty Bear in the Renault, and Riley in the McLaren. And as for my driver of the day, I'm gonna give it to Nick. And my question to Nick is, after qualifying so low down the grid, what was how important was it to keep your head down and stay out of trouble during the race?
So that's from Liam, and my driver of the day is I'm going to have to give it to Sam, as you took Nick. Sam, my question for you is that you only come into your second race in one hub. Didn't have a good Spain race, but you showed that you had the competitiveness and the pace up in Monza. Going into Russia next week, do you still think that you can potentially get Red Bull another good result, or do you think it's a weak track for yourself? So there is the race done. The driver of the days nominated, which was Sam WD and ERT Nick from Mercedes and Red Bull. Red Bull having a good race this week as well. So round 7 done in one hub racing Precision Tier for season 18. We're off to Russia next week for round 8, and we will see you back then at 7:40 PM BST time for the Precision Tier in round 8 for Sochi. It's good night from myself, CPI Storm, and it's good night from Liam.